Today is Wednesday, February 16th, and today was hang power clean plus push jerks, 5 sets of 3, and jerk holds and some accessories. Same thing as last week and the week before, just with weight progressions. So starting off with these hang power cleans plus push jerks. These were solid. I think today overall was a pretty solid day. I think I am sort of, I guess to give a little bit of context, in the past, or I guess like honestly, all of my training leading up to the injury, specifically with the clean and jerk, I've had these sort of recurring issues that I just really never have been able to like fix. One of the things, just as an example, is like when I sort of recatch the bar like I did just there on my front rack. I'll sort of allow my lower back to bend when I do that sort of re-rack recatch thing, and so that again is obviously like I talked about in my last few videos, like the flexion of the lower back is really what I want to avoid. Another issue is sort of the curling of my lower back and the curling inwards of my hips in the dip and drive of the jerk. So those are problems I've been dealing with for a long time, and given the injury that I've been sort of dealing with and working through, those are the things that I need to avoid, right? But with that being said, I think I am moving in a very good direction. I want to make sure that the technique that I am executing on this lighter, I guess, as in relative to my max, I want to make sure that I can sort of transfer that over into heavier weights in the next however many weeks. But you can see there is still some lateral movement forwards in my hips when I dip for the jerk. But like for that, I'm thinking about keeping my knees out, pushing my knees out. So like that's one thing I've always thought about, but again, that's sort of not sufficient that alone is not sufficient in fixing the problem. But it's actually really similar to what I was talking about yesterday on Tuesday, like the knees out, maintaining knees out as I go down and go up. And also this idea of not making as much of a concerted effort towards my torso angle. Like I think a lot of times I put too much effort into just thinking about, okay, let's get my hips back and let's make sure I'm extended in my lower back. And so sometimes I end up in a position where my lower back is overextended and my hips are too far back. And so when I dip down, the only place my hips can go is forwards. And so that's what's going to cause the sort of curling inwards. And so that's one thing I realized yesterday with the back squats. And so I sort of tried applying that same principle today. And I think that helps a lot with with my positioning and the dip and the drive. Again, there are obviously it's not a perfect fix yet. There are some reps where that's not the case, and there is hip movement and my lower back in slight flexion, but it's getting a lot more consistent than before. Because before, there were sessions where no matter how hard I tried, I just would not be able to fix it or do anything about it. I would try really hard to think about, okay, let's make sure I'm getting in the right positions for the dip and the drive, but I don't know, I just wouldn't be able to. But I think I'm getting a lot more consistent, which is really good. I think my quality of movement is thankfully a lot of it has been maintained and has been honestly on some reps here and there better than it was before. So I'm glad that despite all the time off, I'm not sort of starting from zero again, if that makes any sense. But but pretty solid session. Did a lot of work. Finished off with these hang power cleans plus push jerks and moved on to these jerk holds. A bit shaky. I think one thing I got to be conscious of is making sure that I'm starting with the bar in the right place relative to my midfoot. So you can see some of these. Like I think there's a rep in set 3. I think the second rep where I try setting up multiple times, but I'm just not able to pick it up because it doesn't start off in the right position. But I mean, other than that, I think it was not too bad. Although I will say, with 225, just holding it for 5 seconds above my head, it was pretty difficult, even when it was directly over my midfoot and I was like sort of in the right position. And so I think that's just sort of a sign that my overhead stability and strength is something that will need a lot of work, just by virtue of not having had significant weight overhead in a while. But yeah, I mean, I guess that just gives me something to work on. So I'm not like discouraged by that or anything, because again, not in a rush. But yeah, pretty solid work today. Finished up with some accessories and called it a day.